everyone. It is so good to be back on live stream. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, and especially on my personal page. And I wanted to take this moment to reflect back on 2019 and to identify some of the things that I want to let go of and encourage you to do the same. Today feels like a super fun day for many entrepreneurs and non-entrepreneurs alike. A lot of people are setting up their resolutions, are writing their goals for 2020, are setting up with this buildup of energy of everything that they want to release. To those of you who are empathically sensitive and energetically sensitive, perhaps you have felt the last few days of building up to this momentum, to kind of like a crescendo today, of people being ready to release of everything that hasn't worked. And for a lot of people, 2019 was really tough. Was really, really tough. And I wanted to take a moment to reflect on some of the things. So I know I have some new people on my personal page. And to those of you that don't know me, my name is Marina, and I am a mentor for spiritual entrepreneurs as well as non-spiritual entrepreneurs who want to infuse energetic principles into their business in order to create their first 10K in business or scale to consistent 20 and 25K. Or 20 to 25K months. I work with a variety of people, with coaches, with healers, interior designers, doulas, loan officers, and real estate, in the real estate field. So I work with a variety of people. So my processes work with a variety of industries, and I infuse both strategy and energy into all facets of my work. But before I begin into that, I want to take a moment to reflect on some of what 2019 has been. Like I said, it's been kind of tough for a lot of people. And I feel the biggest reason has been because of self-sabotage. For a lot of women, especially, this is huge. For a lot of men as well, whether or not you are or are not in business, self-sabotage is one of the biggest obstacles, the biggest self-imposed prisons that we place on ourselves. And today I want to go into notion as to the true reason of why you are actually self-sabotaging yourself. So a lot of my clients are actually natural born leaders, and I want to go into as to like why and how self-sabotage ends up bubbling up in our psyche, and how it prevents us from having the life that we want, from having the health, the relationships, or the businesses that we want, and why for a lot of people, perhaps 2019, this has been the biggest reason of why it has been so difficult. I mean, sure, there's external circumstances. However, speaking specifically in business, or not even, there's a lot of ways, especially if you are in personal development, and if you are in entrepreneurship, you probably are into personal development. You are probably constantly being told about how to be. You are probably constantly having to adjust how you are being. You probably have been told for a good portion of 2019 that how you are being is not okay, that you being yourself is somehow not okay, that you are too loud, that you're too boastful, that you're, I don't know, too much in your shadow or whatever, that you need more healing, that you need to clear out money blocks, that your strategies haven't worked in business or what have you. And this year for myself personally has been a comeback to myself. For those of you that don't know my story or my experience, I will tell you a little bit about it. So I come back and forth between Colorado and Maui. I spend 6 months out of the year on Maui and 6 months out of the year in Colorado snowboarding. And it's fun, it's awesome, and I worked my butt off in order to have this life. And one of the things that I've come to notice is like I could have had this a lot sooner had I not sabotaged a lot of my ideas. Had I not had I simply acted upon all of the creative ideas that I've had. However, so what has happened over the last 2 years, I have gone through strategy schools and I have gone through the spiritual and mystic mentorships as well. And what has happened a lot, it just constantly puts into this, like it constantly put me into this paradigm that how I was being and what I was doing, hi Zachary, and what I was doing was not good enough. That somehow me being myself and me simply showing up as myself was somehow not good enough. And hey Pamela, and through all of the mentorships that I have received, I have learned so many ways that one can make their business successful. And the biggest thing that has stopped me in 2019 was literally self-sabotaging myself out of every single idea. And what I was doing is I was doing one of these. I was looking to the left and I was looking to the right, and then I was looking behind me for validation on what I was doing. Like, oh, is this correct? Is this how you're supposed to be doing this? Even though my mind and my soul and my heart and my energy and my everything already knew, and it already gave me this idea of how to act forward, of what to do next. Right? And so I was looking back at some of my journals, like from even 2 years ago or from the start of this year. And what has happened, and one thing that I noticed this week, especially within my clients and myself, is that a lot of us don't end up acting on our really amazing ideas. And then next thing you know, somebody online or somebody in person is actually implementing them. So the true reason why a lot of people actually fear and have this kind of self-sabotage is because if you are an entrepreneurial spirit, you are actually meant to be a leader. You're not meant to look to the side, to the left, to the right for validation. You are meant to source your own inner trust and tell self-sabotage to go fuck itself in 2020, and you are meant to actually be the renegade and lead other people. So the other part of the story that I'll share, and then I'll tell you about the exact steps that I take with my clients in order to get them into this leadership mode, and what do we do in order to help them create their first 10K or scale to 20 and 25K without burning out, right? And I'll tell you that in a second. But one of the things that has come up recently is, so as I said before, I live in Colorado half the year and I live on Maui half the year. So I live in a ski town in Summit County. And those of you that know me, hey, what's up? I'm here. And you know how difficult this time of year can be because a lot of people come here to vacation and to have their holidays with their families here in this beautiful place in Colorado on the snow hill. And so what happened was a lot of my friends are actually working, and I have felt like I was alone, and I have felt like I was like, everybody hates me. And yet again, I am looking to the left and I'm looking to the right and I'm looking behind me in order to create the feeling and the experience that I wanted for myself. And one of the things that I have noticed is I'm like, I need to take this into my own hands. Like, I'm the only one responsible for creating this feeling of wanting to be around a community. So what do? I get to create my own freaking community, and I get to actually lead others who might be feeling the same way I do instead of reaching out externally for these experiences. Instead, I have turned it around last week to inner source that shit and to create this kind of feeling for myself by getting resourceful, by going on bulletin boards, and by offering others to host women's circles and create communities of people that want to go to the hot springs with me, by sharing moments with people on chairlifts and brightening their day and exchanging phone numbers and saying like, hey, do you want to ride together? I know it's the holidays and you may or may not be alone, because that is the notion of being up in the ski town, right? So one of the biggest things in 2020 that I encourage you guys to do is inner source that shit. You are a leader. There's a reason why you're an entrepreneur. There's a reason why you've been called to do this. And the biggest reason why you self-sabotage is because the ideas that you come up with have not been in existence yet. And yes, you will probably face ridicule. Yes, you will probably face fear of like going first and actually stating the things that are on your mind and heart, and actually being brave enough to do a live stream like this, or to post on Facebook in front of a group of a large amount of people and state what's on your mind and heart and share your story. and share it in a vulnerable way. The other notion, as far as why women and a lot of people self-sabotage themselves, and I say women because I mostly work with women, but I have worked with men before too, and I'm open to it. But I'm more familiar with women and how women work because I am one. The reason why a lot of women, hold on just a second, self-sabotage themselves also is, like I said, is this inability of I'm like getting distracted. The inability to inner source your own, the inability to inner source this okayness with being vulnerable, because there is a whole notion attached to the identity of what it means to be a leader, right? Oh, I have to have my shit together. I have to do my meditation every morning, which, yeah, you do. I mean, if you are stepping in to this notion of leadership, to showing up consistently, because that's the biggest thing that scares a lot of entrepreneurs who are spiritually minded, is consistency. It's like, oh fuck, can I actually show up? Can I actually sustain this level of energy? Can I actually constantly be in a space where I can show up and lead others? That is the biggest fear. Can I deliver? Can I actually deliver all of me and my energy whenever I coach people? Can I actually show up on the days that I have scheduled, even though I'm PMSing and my baby's crying and Mercury is in retrograde and it's full moon and there's a solar eclipse in Saudi Arabia? Can I actually do it? And the biggest thing and the first thing that I ask my clients is not can you, but will you? Will you do it? You know, like, it's almost like one of my clients, she's a birth doula and she does mentoring for pregnant women and during pregnancy, during birth and postpartum. And I'm like, it's kind of like giving birth. When a woman is like, oh my God, can I do it? She's gonna do it. Like, her body knows what to do. And it's a matter of like, will you? It's not a matter of can you, it's a matter of will you, because it's on your schedule and you're going to do whatever it takes and you're going to do if this is important to you. So some of the ways that I go through this with my clients, just so you guys can have some tangible action steps of how to do this in your life and in your business. I actually have notes for this because I tend to go on tangents. Is one of the first things that I do with my clients is examine where in your life you're denying you and your heart's desire. So, for instance, even if in small micro decisions, if part of you is like, I want a Starbucks latte, but I really have to figure out my accounting, and you go and get a Starbucks latte. True story, crazy story. I was indebted to my coach. I didn't know how I was going to make the payment by Friday. It was Wednesday, and the chances of it looked slim. And of course I'm getting texted like crazy right now for New Year's plans. And it was Wednesday, and by Friday I owed her money, and I was like, I have to work. My heart was like, let's drive an hour to go get your favorite latte. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? You know, and a lot of us, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. Of course I'm getting texted like crazy with spam numbers right now. I'm getting calls. Everybody wants to get in on my live stream right now, which is like, awesome. Welcome. Anyway, so I owed her money and I was like, I have to work. And I was like, my heart, that little voice in my mind and my heart was like, let's go drive an hour to get your favorite latte. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, fine. And I resisted it for a while. And then I'm like, okay, if I leave now, I can go and get this latte. I ended up booking $12,000 in sales that night. I did end up doing the work that I have set out for myself to do, but all it took was for me to say yes to me and my heart's desire. One of my clients actually had a similar situation. She was debating between doing accounting over the weekend and going camping, and we had decided, hey, follow your heart's desire. It's obviously telling you this for a reason. Going camping, and upon the decision to go camping, she booked her first full pay sale for $1,500, which was freaking awesome. Another one of my clients recently, she has been really used to functioning in a very rigid, almost like masculine type of an environment where she's like, I need to do the Facebook ads, I need to contact my database, and she's in real estate industry. And she was about to go on vacation, and she actually ended up booking another sale while she was on vacation simply because she said yes to her heart's desire. She said yes to the thing that she wanted to do. And then she had a call come in as she was booking her appointments at the spa with her girlfriends. Now, you guys, I don't say this to be like, oh, just fuck your responsibilities and, go to the spa and that's how you're going to get sales. No, what I'm saying is there needs to be a consistency, right? There needs to be a consistency and there needs to be a collaboration between your disciplined self, because your disciplined self is what helps you create those ideas and bring them into physical reality, if that makes sense. By the way, if you guys have any questions, whether or not you're watching the replay, please feel free to stop me. I'm happy to clarify what I mean and what exactly I do with my clients and energetically how or why this works. Okay, so what happens is when you create this kind of consistency in your business and when you're disciplined enough to show up and to actually show also your intuitive side that, hey, I trust you enough in order to allow you to bring me these ideas that are going to create the next sale and act upon them and use my disciplined self in order to bring those ideas into reality, that is when magic happens. This is why I say in all of the facets of my work, I bring both the strategic implementation as well as the manifestation principles together, because they're not separate, you guys. A lot of the clients that have come to me, they have functioned in either one way or another for way too long, and which is why things are not happening. This is something that happened with me in my business too, where I functioned either in way too strategic of an environment and way too consistent, where I didn't allow myself and denied myself my heart's desires, those small intuitive whispers that give me those amazing ideas. And then I was functioning in way too much of an intuitive flow of like, I'm just going to have chaos in my life and do whatever the fuck I want all the time. And that did not create any results either. Well, it did a little bit, but it was inconsistent and I was not able to hold the money or the clients because there was no discipline and they had nothing to lean on. Okay, which is a part of being a leader, is embodying all of these sides of you, is embodying the creative and intuitive sides of you and embodying the disciplined sides of you. So the following thing that I do with my clients is I really examine where their gifts are. And a lot of people treat like your intuitive gifts as if it's something that's so supernatural. And all it is actually something that you do naturally. It's your natural personality and how you are. A lot of people tell me like, you like just really inspire me. And you're always just like, you have so much energy and you want to go snowboard and you want to go travel. And like, that's my gift. Like I'm an activator into adventure. Like I activate people. The other part of my gift is, and this can be found in various ways. One of the things that I do with my clients is what I say, we go on a scavenger hunt of like how others perceive you. We collect their testimonials from their past clients. We collect feedback from their mom, their boyfriend, their grandma of like, how do you perceive me? What do you feel I'm actually really good at? So we take those gifts and then we infuse all of that this person is naturally good at, and we take a look at their marketing strategy. And then we see like where in your marketing strategy you're actually denying yourself being your full self. Like, if that makes sense. So if your natural gift is to be around people and create connections, but your marketing strategy includes an email campaign, like that's not going to work. Like if you suck at writing, then you probably should not be doing email campaigns. It's common sense, right? So like I said, we combine your natural and intuitive and energetic self with the strategic implementation. And what we also do is we end up reverse engineering. Like, how did you create your last sale? How did you create that last, for me, it was $30,000 in 10 weeks. Like, how the hell did I create that? What happened? And this, as I reversed engineered it for the last 3 months, I have put it all into my programs, and now I'm delivering it in a step-by-step process to my clients of how the hell did I do that, and this is how. And so the other thing we do is we take a look at your patterns of self-sabotage. And self-sabotage appears in your life in ways that are really sneaky. It may not necessarily be like you mentally saying certain things to yourself. What it can look like is how you're acting in what you're doing, is what kind of actions you're taking and how you're sabotaging yourself in your actions. It could look like what kind of foods you're eating. It can look like, yet again, where in your life are you hiding your heart's desire? for instance, is like, oh, I really want to go snowboard or whatever, or I really want to go to Guatemala and travel, but instead I have to work. Like, where are you actually sabotaging that inner voice and creating that inner conflict? And what happens naturally with people once you start, when you are that disciplined to the point where you're denying your heart's desire so much, your inner self is going to start throwing a temper tantrum. You're going to start feeling burnt out and feel like you don't want to do anything at all. And it's going to be really difficult for you to get on board, to get disciplined, to create a plan, and to stay consistent, because your inner intuitive self, or your inner child, or whatever you want to call it, your higher self, God, Jesus, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about all of the same thing. That thing, that voice in your heart that tells you what you want to do and that drives the mission behind everything in your life, that attracts you to the people and the things that you are naturally attracted to. That is what I mean. And it goes by many names. The longer you deny her or him, the longer you deny that inner voice, the more she's going to start, or he's going to start throwing a temper tantrum, and you're going to start manifesting either illnesses, or you're going to start manifesting depression or apathy and feeling like, I just can't do anything, and you're going to want to do nothing. You're going to want to go on vacation and just lay on a beach and do absolutely nothing. So one of the things that is kind of uncanny for a lot of my clients that have come from a very rigid background is to create more space for that voice to play. It's almost like a child that has been grounded and then you let them off the hook. They're going to be like, oh my God, no way, holy moly. And what happens naturally is they start downloading idea after idea after idea, and they get excited. But then what starts happening is they start getting overwhelmed. They're like, I'm getting so many ideas right now, and I don't know which one to act upon. So then we ground that back into consistency, into looking back as to which marketing or which approaches have manifested the last sales, have created the last money in your business, and which of the ideas that your inner child or God or your heart is giving you that are the most in line with it. So we allow this kind of brain dump, if you will, by writing them all down, and then we analyze them, because most people kind of polarize themselves. They're like, oh, my intuitive and creative side, or my strategic and business side. They don't think to put the two and two together. And 2020, spiritually, energetically, etc., is a year for this kind of union within, of you coming into your own wholesomeness. And that's the biggest notion behind all of the kind of work that I do with my clients, is bringing them back to this kind of inner wholesomeness. Okay. And lastly, you guys, I talked about the marketing approaches. When it comes to leadership, there is a sense of, I have to be perfect before I can show up. I can't maintain my consistency because I have really heavy periods, and what if I break up with my boyfriend, and what if my dog dies while I'm in the middle of a client call? What if I can't commit to these kinds of live streams daily or whatever? What happens then? The true notion of leadership is being vulnerable and being able to appear in front of your audience, front and center, in all of your true colors. That's the true notion of leadership, and that is how you develop trust. So one of the biggest marketing approaches that we do with my clients is we take this inner vulnerable person. Hold on. Sorry, I of course keep getting texted. This inner empathic person that you naturally are. And we place them front and center by creating your own community, by inner sourcing the kind of feeling that you want to provide for others within yourself, and creating that kind of community around you. So a lot of my marketing approaches are actually very PR, because most of my clients are natural born leaders and are natural people persons. And as a bonus, one of the things that is a great bonus around me personally is the last thing that I do with my clients is I teach them sales. But not in a salesy approach that's super slimy, but in a way that actually takes all of what I just said before about empathy and empathetic leadership. And we do go through a pretty extensive market research process. That's something I haven't even mentioned. But is to take this kind of empathetic person within them that understands people and loves people and placing them directly in front of the people that want to work with them, instead of placing them behind computer screens and giving them a whole bunch of marketing strategies that don't work, right? So what happens is, too, once you get placed in front of people in this kind of vulnerable way, sales happen a lot easier and a lot more naturally because people can trust you. People can lean in to your boldness as well as your vulnerability. People can lean in your ability to be open with them and treat them like a person and tell them exactly what they need without having to be slimy. But also they have this kind of groundedness to lean in on because now they know they can trust you. Through the development of consistency, through the development of bringing out that vulnerable, empathic, and powerful leader within you. And that is what we do with my clients in order to create full pay sales, in order to create sales while they're on vacation, in order to create business and marketing plans that are not stuffy. Because I am not a person that's going to tell you that you need more healing. I am not a person that is going to tell you that you need another marketing strategy, but I am a person that will show you where we can create tweaks. And these very tweaks are based in bringing out the wholesome person within you. And on that note, I'm going to probably go ahead and go snowboard because it's a beautiful day outside and create my plans for New Year's. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you know somebody that can benefit from this, please go ahead and share it. I keep getting calls. Seriously, I've had no calls all morning, and then I get on live and all of a sudden everybody's calling me, which is awesome. But anyway, if you guys are curious about how this can work for you or what kind of business you have and whether or not my methods will work for you into creation your first 10K or scaling to 20 and 25K months, please go ahead and book a call with me here into Marina's work. I work with a variety of individuals, and these processes, like I said, are not industry specific. And it's time to start 2020 with a completely new foot, with a completely new way, with a mentor that absolutely adores you and believes you and will encourage you to be the leader that you are in all of your glory. And the only thing that you have to do is employ the will within yourself to say yes to it and to go after your dreams no matter what. A lot can happen, you guys, in 3 months, and that's how long my programs are. Like I said, I made about $31,000 in 10 weeks alone. And my client right now, we've only met for 4 weeks. She's already almost at 8K. She's well on her way to her 12K months. We're infusing her business with new profitability models. Another client of mine just recently pivoted in her business altogether in order to start doing more in-person facilitations. So you guys, this can definitely happen for you, and it can happen quickly. And the biggest thing that it takes is somebody honoring all of you, your strategic self, your intuitive self, your flowy self, your creative self, and somebody to keep you accountable through the days that you don't feel like showing up, and tell you how you can actually utilize your vulnerability in order to be that powerful leader that you are, to end self-sabotage once and for all. And on that note, you guys, I love you all so very much. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve celebration, and I will talk to you soon. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.